Apologies that I couldn't get the other one working. As far as I can tell, it's still Steam. So I'm gonna finally do that one. Finally wrap that one up. Well, not wrap it up. I actually do plan to do a full run of it. But I will be doing Mecha Story and all that later in the afternoon. So to give you a bit of background on what the hell just happened there, basically I loaded it up, and at first Steam was saying, okay, you have to go re-download it. Like, okay, so fine. So it does its whole thing, but it does the same thing it did last time, namely wherein like Steam just suddenly decides it doesn't exist anymore, and so it goes and reloads it. Now, inexplicably, my backup plan for that was basically I wanted to do XCOM 2 today, and I wanted to do Mecha Story today. So what the computer decided was, hey, you know what would be a fantastic idea? Let me go ahead and just friggin' chug like crazy, because I apparently decided prematurely that I have all the files I need. And so yeah, it just started being weird. So then figured, okay, you know, whatever, we're gonna let's just go to XCOM 2. We'll just do them in the other order. So I tried that, and you know what resulted there is just immediately upon starting it, it's like, hey, I went ahead and deleted all your mods, so you're welcome. And so yeah, then that happened. So either way, it could be a bit better, is what I'm trying to get at there. So let's go ahead and change these formations around a little bit. So for one thing, here's what we're going to do. These guys need a little bit more offense. Also, their little forward soldier guys are getting replaced. So let's move you here. Let's go add a character, and let's give these guys a zombie. Because, yeah, at least this one seems to be running for the time being. Like, anything related to Steam, if you didn't know, yesterday I kind of got locked out of Steam for a while. And then it came back, and then for some reason just stuff didn't seem to want to work right. So yeah, if it's going to go ahead and be the case like that, you know, I'll figure that out. Figure it out. I'm pretty sure I just need to reinstall everything, but either way, that's technical jank that I can't really do very much about on a moment's notice. So yeah, anyhow, we have all the teams we need. It seems like we need a little bit more Soldierlingtons. It seems we only have 10 left over, but we have been getting a good amount of promotions. I'm just kind of going through each of the teams one by one here to make sure I'm not missing anything. I know I could do the add soldier command. I just want to make sure that we have everything that we need. So let's go ahead and go over to the carry items here. Who will carry items? You will carry items. Everybody will carry items. Right, you have items, you have items. You need items, because you did real good last time. In fact, we're actually going to give you one of the quick gates, because we might need you to pop right back up to the front there. Give more healing leaves to you. Let's see, you were traveling around a good bit, so we'll give you some of the power fruits. Feels like the Dragon Squad was probably moving around the most, so we'll give them more power fruits. Give everybody fruit. First lesson of army is give everybody fruit all the time, apparently. And fruit and leaves. Fruit and leaves is just the real way to make stuff happen. And there we go. So everybody's all set. We can go ahead and move on then. So realistically, as far as funds go, I should probably go back to this main screen here. As far as funds go, I got 7,800 bucks. I don't know how realistic it is that we're actually going to be able to afford Armageddon, or whatever it was called, Annihilation. Whatever it is. Let's go ahead and... Oh, added one soldier. I missed one guy somewhere. Okay, who can be a knight? Let's see. Definitely want to get more knights if I can. Oh, this guy can be a knight. Fantastic! Congratulations! You are now a knight. There we go. Always good to have more promotions. So let's get him out of the way. We don't have any beast units right now, so I'm not going to use any beastmasters, because unfortunately, Mr. Vale, apologies, you kind of ate it yesterday. Yeah, it was a bit of a depressing situation. Not gonna lie. Pretty much your entire team kind of got overwhelmed. So sorry. Plus side though, if we get another unit there, we'll go ahead and bring you back. So anybody that gets renamed, or that gets put as a monster unit, because of the fact that all the human characters can come back to life, I'm just going to go ahead and allow the monster units a second life as something else. So, Mr. Vale, yeah, as soon as I find a Sphinx, you're going to be a Sphinx. Hopefully that's acceptable. Alright, more wizards. Where do we get more wizards? Probably somewhere. Maybe we should go to Wizards R Us. Okay. Amazons, Archers, Valkyries. Okay, we can get just about everything that we need now, actually. Let's see. Yeah, I can turn you into an Archer. What the hell happened all these last time? I could have sworn I had a bunch of these unlocked last time, and, or rather, I could have sworn I went through this exact same process last time, and then just didn't get all these Archers. Not sure what happened there. Not sure, not sure. Any more archers? 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 Anybody? Anybody want a bow? And do we want more witches? More witches are always good. She's fine as she is. That is that. Don't think like the... okay, so I feel like witches will be a bit more useful down the line once we start getting into 3-round fights. Zombies and zombies. Fair enough. Okay. Exit the screen? Hell yeah, we do. So we got Melesia next. Now, if we go ahead and train at Alba, I believe this is actually where you get one of the Pendras. So let's go ahead and make that happen. So Earthsender, he's been kind of leading the front line, as it were. So we'll go ahead and start off with him. Give everybody a little bit of training. I'm only gonna go as far as the Pendra training. So the plan is still to somehow be able to afford Annihilation. Again, I think it's Annihilation. I don't remember if it's Armageddon or Annihilation, but it's one of those things. You know, it's the big thing that makes the big booms happen. That one. Oh, and you know what else I just noticed? I put the snowman in the completely wrong spot. Hang on. Let's go back to this window. Let's put you. Here, Mr. Snowman. There we go. That's where you belong. Big old Mr. Snowman. Doing all the snowman things. Actually, I might be able to even remove Snowman pretty soon here, because we're finally getting to the point where, like, it's actually starting to melt outside. It's amazing. The snow is starting to go away. We've literally gone from, like, the negative 30s, 40s, whatever, to just suddenly it's like 15. We just went up by almost 60 degrees, just out of nowhere. So yeah, that's Michigan in a nutshell for you. It's like just the weather rapidly flying up and just upwards of 50 plus degrees. Yeah, my brother kept making fun of us the entire time. It's like, oh man, it's real cold over there. He's just like sitting in front of a bonfire. He's like, sends us a video like, yeah, I got this bonfire over here. It's a little bit chilly. It was good stuff. But anyway, so Mr. Vale, what are you up to today? Aside from editing, sounds like you've got a big old day of editing in front of you. Just editing all the things. Sorry, I'm trying to read the thingy, and it's all tiny and everything. Come on, tiny screen. Let's see. Going to make breakfast, and then I'll be back to watch for a bit. There we go. There we go. Turns out if I actually read the thing real good, then I can actually know what it says. But yeah, so yeah, hopefully I have a good breakfast. I know, I was actually just surprised recently, so I was making some bizarro experiment for breakfast, as I usually do. So in this case, I was going through and I was just making myself some grits. And typically, as far as diet grits go, you still want to have something that's a bit more filling for the day. So it's like 2 eggs, some almond milk, and some, like, crap load of grits, right? Now, here's the thing. Normally, if you just microwave that crap, it turns into a pretty average-tasting sludge. You know, it's good, it'll be alright, it'll get you through the day and all that kind of thing. But sometimes, you know, you wanna do something a bit more than that. So, you know, you want to get something that'll actually taste, well, different from usual. So what I did, I mixed all this stuff up, and I made sure that it had a weird consistency. Actually mixed it up in 2 separate parts, taking the milk and the... essentially took the milk and the grits, laid them out on a frying pan, like on a really wide frying pan. Went ahead and started cooking that, then basically glazed it with the eggs, and then just basically left that thing on for way the hell too long. Like, we were talking, that thing was on the burner for like 45 minutes. Surprisingly, that caused it to kind of caramelize in a bizarre way. Wait, a snowman in February? Hell yeah, snowman in February! Man, it's like winter's just starting over here in Michigan. Of course we have a snowman in February. Let's get Eurydice. I just noticed her name's Eurydice, not Uterus. Man, it's gonna make me sound even more stupid than usual for the first couple parts there. But yeah, so yeah, the snowman was there to celebrate Winter Storm Jaden, which is thankfully finally starting to break. It's nice being able to actually take the dogs outside without them panicking. What can I say? Alright. Yeah, I think this team is going to be one of the ones that lasts a good while. It seems like Aznabel is actually doing a real good job as a Phalanx up to this point. So let's see. Let's see. The Floridian in me forgets that it doesn't go November equals fall, December equals winter, January equals spring. Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, sometimes, depending on the year in Florida, it's like, you basically have pretty much everything from March up until November as summer. Then you have winter from, well, not winter, you have autumn, just kind of, well, let's say November and December, you've got some autumn. And then you're just basically up to spring in January and everywhere else. It's like everything else is just spring, that there is no winter. Except for the once in a blue moon when it suddenly snows. I mean, to be fair, yeah, you don't always need snow for winter, but I'm just saying, like, it always cracks me up to think of when I was growing up and everything. So I'm going to school and I have this hoodie on. And I'm thinking, oh man, it's all freezing and everything. You can see the frost on the wind, and it was literally just because of humidity. It wasn't even that cold. Like, as soon as you got off the bus, you would still be slightly too warm in a hoodie. But anyway. So, you know, we'll just go, you know, get out of the car, go to school. I'm thinking, like, this is the coldest of anything ever. And thinking about it now, thinking about it these days, like, man, that crap is just warm as hell now that I think about it. Hello there, little turd. Let's see, how do you have the patience to leave animations on? Just a preference? I mean, I just like watching them, to be honest. Like, it depends. Like, I can go ahead and turn them off for training, like I said I was going to. I'm trying to get the Pendra here, because I think that's where you get one of them. But personally, I just think that the animations add a whole lot to the character. You know, makes it seem like everybody's trying real hard and everything. I will say we're not going for any, like, extensive 100%ing or going for 99 years old or whatever else this time, so it's going to be a shorter run than usual. Like, especially once we hit Chapter 2, stuff's probably just going to start rolling real quick. So yeah, see, the word autumn implies the leaves change color. Yeah, everything stays green even in the winter. That's just Florida for you. Yeah, the only things you see changing color are like the skin flakes and all the old people. That's kind of how it goes over there. So I think it's more cinematic with animations on for streaming. Who doesn't want to watch a dragon block a sword with its head? Turn them off too when I play solo. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to see them dragons. Alright, I think next we want to train up Anderson's team just a little bit. Right, Mr. Anderson. I want to say this is Fight 4? I think we need 5 fights to actually get the Pendra battle. I don't know for sure, and not to mention, I actually don't know for sure that we'd be able to even win any of the Pendra fights. Like, literally every single time that there was a Pendra fight that I ran into on accident, usually I ended up losing the very first one, and then ended up going back with gremlins and just putting everybody to sleep. So it was kind of just the strategy last time and how I wound up with most of them. But yeah. So yeah, the animations are just fun to watch. There we go. It's not even Aznabel, that's Troy. But that's not even Troy, is it? It's the other one. Who is that? Who is the man with the hammer and the extraordinary amount of pecs? So, pretty regularly now I've been going on about the Titan games, right? Like, every week, feel kind of obliged to go over it and just, like, what exactly happened that week, is that, honestly, that show is way more fun to watch than it has any right to be. But it still cracks me up how they have so many people going in, like, trying to do, like, the whole character bit, and they're always really bad at it, because usually it's people you can tell are definitely way too jacked to be full-time actors or whatever else. But it's funny, because, yeah, everybody's trying to do the, like the whole wrestling intro thing, and trying to go and taunt people and everything else, but they're just... It's clearly not in their wheelhouse kind of situation. Like, yeah, there was a guy yesterday, they had this whole thing that they were going for where they had two brothers that were both in the army, and, like, they both fly out there and everything, and they're setting up this whole thing of, like, oh man, if they win both their fights, they get to see which brother's better, or whatever else. And so, they go ahead and they do that, and, yeah, sure enough, you know, this guy that keeps claiming, like, oh, he's gonna be the next Schwarzenegger, and he's, like, just a waiter who's got a ridiculous amount of upper body strength, basically. And yeah, so... so he keeps doing just absurdly crappy, just Arnold Schwarzenegger impressions over and over. Like, to the point where that was just basically all he was doing. The entire friggin' time. Every time that he talked, it was just to get to the chopper over and over and over. It's like, okay, we get it. You think you look like Schwarzenegger, that's fine. Could we chill on that? And then he doesn't. Like, he even starts going and quoting all of the old, like, when Arnold didn't know English so good and all that kind of thing situations. Like, back when he was very obviously just a very jacked pothead for a while. Like, all those old interviews and everything, he's just running around quoting them all the time as if everybody gets that. Man, that show is just bizarre to watch, but I love it. Just absolutely love it. Oh, by the way, on a side note, actually probably a bigger... No, it's definitely a main note. Who here has actually checked out Wargroove? Wait, what is Ironman? It basically means that if my main character dies, if the base is gone, just basically if there's a game over condition or whatever else, there's no reloading the game. It's just a one-shot run. So yeah. Basically the term originally originated from, I believe it was from old XCOM games, or from, like, back in the old arcade days or whatever else, where the idea was that nobody could use continues or whatever else, that it's just, if you died, that's it, that's the end of your run. So yeah, no revives, no reloads, basically. Just, in most cases, Iron Man tends to convey that, at least relatively well. I don't know if there's been a new term that's come up, because it does seem like that question comes up more than I thought it would. But anyway, so it doesn't seem like we're actually making any progress here. Maybe that's not the one with the Pendra, so let's go ahead and have a fight. Idealism and realism, yay! Okay, nifty. So, Mr. Hugo, would you like to tell us about some bridges? Our scout was ambushed. We've been using scouts this whole time. And those scouts must have been extraordinarily tired during that last run where they spent 90-something years just running around in circles while we were trying to have a birthday. Alright, huge troops. Okay, nifty. Oh yeah, this is the one with Wizard Wallace. Gotcha. No, wait, no. We already fought Wizard Wallace. That was last time. This is just the same map. Be careful. I don't think we will. I think we're pretty alright. We're alright to not be careful. Alright, as per usual, we're going to go ahead and leave Magnus and his squad sitting on the HQ for the time being. Let's see, let's go ahead, probably do a similar thing as the last time we were here. So we're going to send all the casters off to the left, all the physicals up to the north. Actually, we're going to send Lucy in with the casters, because her dragon is kind of overpowered. So that's kind of nifty. Alright, and then we're going to send Anderson to secure the bridge, because that's, that's something that Hugo's just insisting on. Let's send Earthsunder and Eurydice, or Eurydice, whatever. Let's send her up here. And then we probably send one more team to the left, just for good measure. All of these guys are remaining pretty neutral, so, I mean, all these towns are... Oh, you don't say! In that case, no, everyone else do whatever. Anderson, this is your town. This is your time to shine. Huh. Alright, that never happens. What else? We got morale pretty low over here. Whatever, whoever gets there gets it. Alright, let's get Ken over this way. See, Effeminate is the boss this time, I think. A weird name to give a child. Yeah, it's definitely a weird one. You are the girliest. That is... You know what? She's basically the opposite to the Aegis. She's just their natural rival. They wanted to become the Huge, but instead they became the Ladylike. Let's see, do you do the 255 item hack at any point? No. So the idea is to get through this normally without any exploits. So not using any exploits, not using any tricks like that. It is kind of hilarious though how last run I accidentally did that one, which is kind of just a funny thing. Apparently, I somehow got more fairy clothes than I had fairies, which caused them to roll over, and I technically could probably have printed infinite money off that, but instead spent hours upon hours grinding random Hawkmen. But don't worry, we're not doing that this time. We're literally just playing it straight because there's more than enough money to just keep everybody running on training throughout the entire game. So yeah, the only reason that was happening last time is because I was using only fairies, and them suckers needed to be overpowered to even survive. So there was that. See, I wonder how your scouts determine which cities are lawful or chaotic. The city has 2 hot topics, definitely a 35. Very true, very true. Oh man. You know, I just want to point out, just a random bit of trivia. With Hot Topic, I never really thought about it. It never really occurred to me. And then a few months ago, there was a whole thing where, like, so we're going around, we're trying to find the perfect gift as a joke for essentially a family friend kind of situation. And yeah, let's just say that they are very single-minded in terms of one particular thing. So, you know, my wife was joking, hey, let's go look at Hot Topic. I know exactly what we need to go get them. Like, okay, I don't understand. Neither one of them seems particularly edgy, but if you say so. And I'm just gonna go ahead and leave that entire story with one thing. If you're ever at Hot Topic, look at the very back row, and tell me if one of these things is not like the others. That's all I'm gonna say. We're just gonna keep it PG. We're just gonna leave it at that. Never expected that. But yeah. I think it was Hot Topic and Spencer's that did that, or something like that. Something like that. Either way. The grungy... It seems like all the grungy mall stores are about the same, but... What can you do? What can you do? Alright. Now, Now, out of curiosity, does anybody know if the figurine of Sleipnir is available in any other place? See, if you're ever in Hot Topic, okay, you lost me. The best part of being an adult is never having to go into a Hot Topic. Fair enough, fair enough. You go there for jokes, well, for gifts to give us jokes, I think. Also, I'm gonna have to pause it the second... Okay, come on, turn on field pause. Because we are about to get some very, very lawful people taking that chaotic city, and I don't want that. I don't want it! Freaking field pause. See, just birthdays. True, or if you randomly become obsessed with Invader Zim. Which has happened before. Actually, it's kind of funny because back when I was visiting my my family in Florida, not that long ago, so we go over there, and yeah, sure enough, you know, my brother's going and digging through some old stuff, and he finds this this doll he made of Gur. Like, if you've seen Invader Zim before, or if you haven't seen it rather, basically the whole premise of the show is just it's a really incompetent, egotistical alien trying to take over the Earth. And so he has this little robot named Gur, who's basically like just the ultimate Swiss Army knife of absolutely everything amazing ever. And yeah, he's kind of just brain dead, kind of a situation. As in, like, he's literally just broken. So, for example, instead of going and attacking things like he's supposed to, because he's basically a portable Terminator, like, he'll just run up and give him a sandwich or something like that. Let's see, no on the figurine of Sleipnir, even birthdays won't bring me into a hot topic. Jeez. Fair enough, fair enough. Alright, so we just barely avoided taking that city. Whew. Kiefer has been liberated. Good, so we can go have 24 now? We've liberated Kiefer Sutherland. I love how she's just basically having a dragon chase a wizard around a field and then randomly picking berries. God, I love the implications of this game. Anyway, what was I getting at here? Dang it, I had a whole thing I was... Dang it, brain. Oh yeah, so friggin' Invader Zim. So, if you're not familiar with it, yeah, it was a show that, let's just say, kind of pushed boundaries for what it was, because it was a Nick show back in the day, but it gets bizarrely dark, like to the point where the guy actually tried to kill off a bunch of characters all the time, and they just went back and they edited it afterwards, just having them say "ow" or something after an elevator falls on top of them. You're just like, well, he totally made it. I don't know what you're talking about. Just over and over. Because apparently he just did a bunch of like grungy, ridiculously dark comics up to that point, and somebody, some of their higher ups, for some reason read this and thought, "Hey, this will be great for a kids show." But point being, so he basically sits his daughter down to go watch something. He's like, out of curiosity, I just found this old doll. Here you go. And he gives this old doll that he made. Like, it was made out of, I think it was made out of like old shirts stitched together to make a Gur doll. Because, he's kind of working with whatever materials he had at the time, like little buttons for eyes and everything. And so yeah, he goes and gives this thing to his daughter. And yeah, it turns on Invader Zim. And so we were all just sitting there for like a weekend, just marathoning that thing just to see how dark it got. And oh my goodness, I did not remember how dark that show got. Like, it's a kid's show. It's a kid's show, and it's like, oh, half of them end in bizarre existential nightmares. Man. See, I'll never forgive Kiefer for not narrating the second season of 24 with "My name's Jack Bauer, and this is the second longest day of my life." Yeah, he definitely could have gone with that. Though, I think currently on his list of kind of iffy decisions was grunting his way through MGS5. Like, most of his dialogue is just like, just throughout the entire thing. He almost never talked. Man. MGS5 was weird. It's hard to even know how to feel about that one, because there was so much stuff that I liked about the overall gameplay, but I never touched it again. After that first run-through, after seeing that ending, I just couldn't go back to it. It sucked too much. Because, yeah, you know what? If you have a child running off with a gigantic Gundam-looking situation, I don't know, that might be a plot point worth mentioning, just a little bit. Just one of those things that might be concerning to someone, may come up at some point. Like, oh, giant city-leveling robot, huh? Most advanced thing they've seen in the entire series, except it's somehow in the Cold War, huh? I guess they just dropped it in the ocean or something, because it's never gonna come up again. But yeah, wait, MGS5? MGS5, Metal Gear Solid. So the very last game, like, I'm sure you probably heard a good bit of it. The whole shtick there was they were ending the Metal Gear series. They were finally tying together a lot of the loose ends. So as far as loose ends go, you basically had two versions of the main bad guy, or I would say kind of like neutral bad guy. He's basically the equivalent of like Lancelot in the Tactics Ogre games, like where he's not really technically a bad guy. He's just sort of like he starts trying to do his own thing and then winds up kind of being the head of something that's way more nefarious than originally intended. And then from there, he's just kind of trying to level it all out kind of situation. But point being, he is the boss of 2 of the games from way back in the day, and they never really explain why. Because they're like, okay, here's this, like, really father-like figure, being all nice to everybody freaking loves him. Why is he turning into this comical villain over here? And so yeah. Even through these old games, like, he's just there being the kind of quote-unquote mentor character up until they just suddenly decide, hey, guess what, I'm gonna friggin' try to fight you now. But point being, the story is ridiculously convoluted and hard to follow, and involves a whole bunch of scientific BS all over the place that makes no sense. But they usually finagled it just enough to the point where it was like, okay, I can understand this. This is kind of, sort of making sense a little bit. So every single one of the stories is just like somebody gets a hold of some blueprints for a giant death robot, more or less, and so we sent a spy in to go deal with it. And so you're basically always playing as this spy, whoever they happen to be in that game. And yeah, then it's always some massive conspiracy, and almost always, like, the people that you're working with are part of said conspiracy, and it's just like, it's, I don't want to say formulaic, like, there's definitely a formula to it, but the way that they handle that formula is really well done in most cases. So MGS1, a lot of people played on the PS1, was really, really good, had a lot of good twists and turns, and then ended with a bizarre thing where one of the main bad guys' arm cut off by a friggin' robot ninja-looking situation. Then said robot ninja thing is, well, crushed, as in they are just stepped on by the giant death robot, and so, they're just assumed dead. All the bad guys more or less run off, and so you get to the follow-up to that where you're not playing as the main character anymore. You're playing as some guy that looks like he belongs in a boy band. And yeah, said guy with the missing arm suddenly gets the main bad guy's arm grafted onto his arm, so suddenly he's somehow mind-controlled by him, occasionally by nano-robots or some crap. Yes, this is as weird as it sounds. And yeah, so utter bizarreness ensues. So yeah, utterly strange, to the point where they literally have an entire section of the game that's just your main commanding guy that's been giving you instructions the whole time turns out to be a robot, and he's just there glitching out over and over, telling you to turn your game off. Like, no, you've been staring at the screen too long, or he just starts, like, yammering on about random gibberish. And dude, that mess is friggin' scary sounding. Like, I gotta say, just look up, like, I think it's like Campbell glitching out is what it's called as far as videos go, but it's nuts. That part legitimately freaked me out as a kid, because I'm like, oh my god, my game's haunted. So yeah, MGS2 was entirely meant as like a parody of the genre as a whole, because a bunch of people were asking him to make a sequel to a bunch of games that he didn't intend to make a sequel for. So he made them as just like trippy and meta as possible, and then people really got on board with that. So he's like, okay, crap, I've gone way too far with this. Let's go back and make a prequel. So he does, and they have another one set in the Cold War. And so it's the story of this main bad guy character who looks and sounds identical to the main good guy, don't question it. And so yeah, they go through the same process again. They're sneaking into a base, they're finding out about giant robot situations, and essentially they go and stop the thing. So okay, cool, that's all well and nifty, all is well and good. That game's actually pretty friggin' fantastic, I gotta say. So that's MGS3, and then afterwards he supposedly retires. Like, he basically decides, okay, done with all these wars and crazy robots and other nonsense, like, I'm done. And then, so he's just retiring off on a beach, and that's when you get the PSP games. Because they're like, okay, look, we're basically forcefully unretiring you so that you could train, like, every mercenary ever to be awesome. So that's exactly what they do. So they just basically, like, forcibly turn him into a dictator-looking situation. But everybody's really happy about it, because they're, like, the biggest hero in the world kind of thing to them. So, wait, let's see. Someone built a giant death robot, and we have to deal with it. The elevator pitch for robot jacks. It's weird that Joe Helgerman, the Forever War fame, was basically locked into an apartment by Stuart Gordon and forced to write the script for that. Huh. You know what? I don't think I've actually seen that one, is the weird part. Like, I thought I've seen a crapload of weird stuff, but I don't think I recognize that one. I'm gonna have to look that up. Anyway, so that's not even, like, halfway through the story either. So they go through this whole Cold War thing, like, he's forced to go be this leader now. Puts together a science team, and they're like, hey, why don't we build a giant death robot? And so they do, and then their giant death robot gets taken over, then they essentially fight a little girl who stole the death robot. Because this is just a thing that happens. And yeah, so they fight that death robot, they make a new one. If you're wondering, that's what the Metal Gear is. It's literally just a giant robot with an awkward name. Anywho, so So yeah, they build another one, and they're all self-sustaining, just basically their own little country sitting on an oil rig in the middle of the ocean. So that was their goal the whole time. You know, they got what they wanted, a quote-unquote country without borders and all that kind of thing. So, all's looking pretty well and nifty, until suddenly, well, by the way, what I just described was basically all three of the portable games. Because there were three of them, and yeah, they, let's just say they got pretty deep into a whole mess of different stuff, but that was the basic synopsis of it all. So then 5 rolls around, and it's actually a 2-parter. So the very first part of that 2-parter, they're all just happily sitting in that base, and said base, they're going and they're trying to rescue a few people that got captured over the course of the last few games there. Namely, like the girl that stole the giant death robot, who they're inexplicably trying to save for some reason. Because they think she's a good character now, or whatever. Who knows? So right, they're going ahead and they're doing that, right? They go ahead and they succeed. They get their people out, and then as they're leaving, it turns out that one of them got a. And bear with me on this one because it's a weird one. They got a bomb shoved up their hoo-ha. Like there's literally just a thing just crammed right up there. So yeah, their helicopter explodes. Then it turns out that the health inspector or whatever else that was coming to their base in the middle of nowhere. Turns out that guy is kind of not a health inspector. Who'd have thunk it? And yeah, they just come back to their entire base exploding, and everybody's all dying everywhere, and it's all depressing, and dark times. Also, yeah, that fight right there was some nonsense. Doesn't matter. We'll recover out of this. I don't actually know, how severe a lot of the penalties are for all these back and forths and everything. I'm assuming they drop pretty sharply. I think we probably just lost any games we would have made over the course of this entire map because I was busy rambling, but whatever. I'm just going to hold those 2 cities and fight stuff for the time being. Let's see, I thought the bomb was sewed into her stomach. Actually I'm not even entirely sure, to be totally honest. Either way, there was a bomb shoved inside a child and it made helicopter go boom. Like, that's... They got into some pretty dark crap with that one. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, I mean, I know they have to go and they have to just, rip... They more or less try to do surgery in the helicopter to rip the thing out, and then it doesn't go anywhere. And also, yeah, that Archer is a massive liability, because she keeps almost dying every time. Ah, hang it. So, anyway. So yeah, what results is, in the sequel, you wake up as, well, allegedly the same character, just kind of sitting there, laying in a hospital bed, missing an arm. So they're like, oh yeah, you're totally the guy. You're totally the main guy. Just don't worry about the fact that you have a different voice actor now and everything else. It's fine. You're totally the main guy. And so you go and you have your whole resistance movement thing going again. Then you fight some random ghost people. Then you fight some bosses that make no sense. And you have a really awkward car ride through the desert, staring at a guy in a jeep. You might think I'm over-summarizing there, but I kid you not, like 90% of it is just you running around trying to forcefully recruit people with balloons. Which I have to say, that part is ridiculously fun. But then, yeah, the main boss is just bizarre. It's downright just strange. See, bombs and children is wrong, says the man who gives hats and spears to toddlers and makes them fight dragons. Yeah, true. It's not wrong. That's just how it goes sometimes. Anyway, so when I'm saying that there's an awkward car ride through the desert, talking to a random skeleton man in a jeep, that was their idea of like the big climactic, like, this is your bad guy moment. Because there's a guy that's like, he shows up, he spouts some monologues, he looks all evil because he looks like a skeleton in a suit, and then he just disappears. And so yeah, they have this whole thing where you're confronted and you're surrounded, and you have this whole like big military procession and everything else, and they're like, oh man, we're here to go show you our big bad guy thing, and then you exactly like I said, you spend at least 10 minutes, if not longer, with no animations, no anything else. They're just driving. They're just driving and they're staring at each other while dramatic music plays in the background. Nothing else is going on. There's no, like, you'd think there would be, like, flyovers with helicopters or something like that. But no, they're just driving. They're just hanging out. They're weirdly casual about the entire thing. You know, the friggin' super spy that's been going and, you know, destroying tanks with his hands and stuff like that. Yeah, no, he can't possibly do anything in this situation. He's just gonna sit there. So, it's weird times. See, it gets hilarious when the balloons turn into wormholes. Yeah, dude, that mess is awesome. There's no denying how awesome that is. Because, yeah, you just keep researching upgrades to your balloon thing, because it starts off as just, it's like a little backpack-looking thing that you just strap to somebody, and then it hooks them to a balloon, and then a helicopter steals them. This game is a little bit nefarious at times. So, yeah, it just goes and takes them, and then they're like, hey, look, we put a bigger balloon, or like, hey, look, we can deploy multiple balloons. And then at the very end, it's just like, it opens up a straight-up wormhole. And it's just like, it opens up in the sky, and you can just carry stuff out of buildings and whatever else. Because before you had to drag guys and supplies and everything else outside so that you could go put balloons on them. Oh man, that game is so weird. I mean, this is considering the fact that one of the portable games literally had a musket that shoots tornadoes. But yeah, honestly, like, the best part of every one of those games is just the bizarrely trippy post-game. Like, when you start getting access to all the stuff that clearly makes no sense whatsoever. Like, I think one of my favorite bits was trying to go through most of Peace Walker using only a banana. Because you can actually complete everything with a banana. Almost everything. Everything except for the boss fights can be beaten with a banana. And you actually have... Let's see. Sucks in tanks too. Oh yeah, true. All you have to do is catch the tank unaware, and it just trivializes everything. It's pretty awesome. Alright. What are you gonna do? You're gonna put my healer to sleep? Well, suck at that. They've only got 2 forward attackers. Yeah, I think this team can hold up pretty okay. The only downside of using so many archers like I am right now is the fact that they've got no defense. Let's see, you can beat Castlevania Dracula X with a key? Really? Huh. I didn't know that. Actually, on a random note, speaking of keys and stuff, it always kind of cracked me up that Dark Souls 2 had a keyblade in it. As in, it was actually just a key that you could use as a sword for some reason. And it kind of sucked that you can't use that thing all game, because you're forced to use it on a particular door partway through. Technically speaking, you can use it up until the end of the game, you just can't carry it into New Game Plus, because it technically still counts as a key. But either way, the thing was pretty alright is what I'm trying to get at. So keys on... He acts as a sub-weapon. Okay, yeah, true. Sub-weapon only runs are pretty well possible in most Castlevania games, I think. Like, I think... Let's see, what was it? I forget exactly how it goes. Like, I think they had to use some unarmed attacks or something, but I know that I did see somebody doing, like, a throwing dagger only run of Symphony of the Night a while ago. But yeah, I think they did have to farm for hearts, just because obviously they're not going to be super amazing. Alrighty, so we're not winning so good, but it's fine. It's fine. Once they get control of the left side there, we'll finally be able to do some stuff. I'm just letting all these fights play out for the time being. Thing is, we've only got one team that's a real threat down there. See, I think as soon as we can deal with a paladin there, it's gonna be a hard one way or another. Oh, nice! They actually do combine. Okay, I wasn't able to get confirmation on that before, but yeah, 2 clerics, I guess they do combine their healing, so that's fine. They can be there as a team. That works out pretty darn nifty-like. Pretty darn nifty. Now, Anderson, please take your town back. This is your city, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And Lucy, please, will you just finish off this team? Thank you. So, do you still need more healing leaves, or are you good now? Yeah, I'm actually missing some UI elements for some reason lately. Yeah, no, she's good. She's good. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna leave him there just in case they start breaking through. I can probably spare Dio to go help assist on the western flank here. make this happen. Just because we're going to have to deal with that annoying paladin at some point. So I can probably start pushing up the right relatively soonish. We'll see. See what we can do. Oh, out of curiosity, who here has actually taken a look at the list of upcoming like challenges and things like that? Just kind of curious after these other ones are done here. Still curious what people just want to see. Alright. If they combine in the middle there, that'd be quite handy. But instead they're gonna go to sleep. Come on, witch. Stop being all witchy-like. Let's see, if you did an all-female run of the OB series, would use Dragon Tamers or Masters of March of the Black Queen. I mean, I guess technically, well, technically I wouldn't, just because there's also really no reason to. Because if it's female only, then presumably, presumably then I don't really get to use monster units either, because I can't necessarily go and double check what their gender is. So, if it was ladies only, I probably would end up using muses, almost exclusively. Just muses, and maybe if it's possible to get a princess. That's kind of about it. If it was Ogre Battle Hard type, then probably would be using Diana's as well. But yeah, muses are, in all honesty, kind of overpowered. But we'll see. See, oh, you poor sweet child, there's no rule set that would ever make me use a Dragon Tamer ever. Man, you know what's bizarre? Like, I still have yet to have a normal run where I ever actually get a Dragon Tamer. Like, it's I don't know, they don't happen, is the thing. Like, you get the items, and then you don't get the classes that'll actually be able to do it. It's like, you manage to get a Dragon Tamer that isn't, or you get a Beast Tamer that can actually do some stuff, and then their alignment isn't right, or their charisma isn't right. Or, you finally get the item, and then they're like, oh, you need to upgrade to the advanced class. Like, well, you don't have the requirements for the advanced class, or you don't have the item. Just let me have the thing, I want to go ahead and try to get one. I think I've forcefully recruited one, but I've never actually made one, is the weird part. And, yeah, it is time to retreat out of this fight. Excuse me, puppy! Why are you getting all super lovey-dovey and getting into my wires? What's your deal? What are you doing? You feeling a little lonely over here, Mr. Doggo? The only reason I haven't had them retreat yet is because we really need to get a few wins in here, and I think they might have one. Yeah, no, they still lost. Crap. Reyes is the best Beast Tamer. Or the best Dragon Tamer? Fair enough. See, I always start with a Dragon Tamer instead of a healer or knight in LB64. That's why I always end up using so many Dragon Tamers. Come to think of it, I don't think I've actually started this game with a Dragon Tamer before. That might be interesting to try. You know what? You're moving on to the Stronghold. I'm gonna get Obsidian Sphinx into this. Because I really, really need this flank to stop being a massive clustercluck. Wait, there's something here! Sweet, got a metal bra. And they got a little bit too literal with breastplate. See, it's because unlike you weirdos, I don't offer the gods lust with my sword or promise to sever sanity or whatever you're thinking. To be fair, I'm pretty sure the gods want some horniness towards them. I'm just saying. Though seriously, I don't know, it cracks me up more than it probably should, where it's like, I will sever honor and promise lust. It's like, just get horny for the gods. It's just like, I don't know, just something that cracks me up about that. And there's also, I don't know, at the same time, it makes me think, that's kind of a good 30-40% of Greek myths, so maybe it's not exactly terribly far off. That's probably why. I do it for fun. That's why. Alright, so that team lost again. No big shock. Actually, I have to say, recently I was really happy. So I was checking out Wargroove, right? Because I kept hearing like, oh man, go check this thing out. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. How have you not seen it yet? Oh my god, you absolute travesty. Why haven't you looked at it? And I looked at it, and yeah, it's Advance Wars. So I was kind of vaguely touching on this earlier, but dude, the people that made Wargroove, I really, 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 really hope that for some reason they're massive fans of this series, and that they decide to just collectively borrow this as well. Because, like, as far as that game, it is literally every single mechanic from Advance Wars except made better, and, you know, they haven't exactly made any games of that series in forever. Like, I think the last one was back on the original DS. Yeah, I'm like 90% sure about that. But yeah, they basically did that and then made everything way better. And honestly, if those people took that same style and felt like redoing some Ogre Battle games, also, how the crap did they just lose that? They were doing a crap ton of damage. Come on now. Come on now. Stop losing to this stupid witch. This is ridiculous. This stupid witch won't die. Ugh. God dang it. My reputation's gonna suck after this. Let's see, I offer pancakes and several waffles. That's the way it's done. Good man. Good man. Yeah, the funny part is, this is exactly why I use a Witch and Obsidian Sphinx's team. Just because they end up doing the whole distraction job ridiculously well. And especially early on, all you really need is one unit to get disabled, and that's it. They've already won the fight, so... See, is Wargroove on PS4? My brother sent me a link, but I never clicked on anything people on the internet send me. I think it is. I think it's on basically everything at this point. Like, I want to say it was? I think, like, PS4, Switch, and PC, if I recall. But I don't quote me on that. It's at least on Switch, which makes me think it's probably on PS4 also. Because I saw the Switch announcement yesterday, just because I'm subscribed to Nintendo's thing. Despite the fact that, well, I don't really have any of their newer consoles except for a 3DS. But I keep hoping, I don't know, I keep hoping and hoping and hoping for two things. One, that they're going to do the N64 Classic, and, you know, maybe release that with OB64. And B, because, you know, they've released them all with strategy games so far. And, yeah, you know, there aren't that many on the 64, just saying, this is right here, you can totally get it. This Witch Squad is pissing me off, because they're just not dying. They're just sitting there, getting their heels on over and over, and refusing to die. Let's see, my original Wii has March of Black Wii and OP64, so I don't need to buy any newer version. Well, crap. Wish I had some of that, though to be fair, the Wii Shop just died. Let's see, use the Brave web browser, you can block tracking, third-party cookies, scripts, etc. by default. Chrome-based. Yeah, he knows what he's talking about. Like, that guy. That is Leos. He knows. He knows these things. So if you need techno wizardry, he's the guy to ask. Alright, seriously, stop putting my wizard to sleep! You suck! You suck! God dang. She just does not stop. Man, like, even with the flame flail, they just can't do enough damage to break through here. Oof. Oh crap, they actually won. They somehow must have won by like 1 or 2 points or something. See, I got Water Fox and no script running, but I don't want to encourage my brother to send me links, expect me to click on them. Well, sometimes that's just how you do. I don't know, let's see, the only links I end up getting from my brother are usually news. Because it seems like every time a crappy news story comes out, we both end up immediately finding out about it. Like, oh, hey, guess what? Friggin' somebody, gee, I wonder who, just tried to pass a law that would specifically screw your guys' two situations. Like, hey, I just passed a law that made it illegal for parents to exist. Like, but why? He's like, oh man, just reasons. Makes about as much sense as anything else. Though actually, on the note of politics, it's like, did you guys see what happened to the Starbucks guy that tried that was announcing he was gonna run and just got heckled at his own freaking store? I think the guy was calling him an egotistical and billionaire a-hole or something. Like, oh man, that's just hilarious. Let's see, there's a new guy in the Discord who wanted help setting up portable AC games on PPSSPP. Probably the best guy for, yeah, honestly, I haven't kept up with a lot of stuff on the AC Discord lately. Just because I don't know, I've been stretching out for a crap load of different things, like, between the technically 4+ different jobs right now, and everything else. It's been a little bit chaotic, and truth be told, I don't know, every time I've gone there, it's been endless Ace Combat memes and people talking about builds. And other than a few people that wanted to talk about Formula Front, I haven't really seen much there. But anyway, point being, Voctor is the one that he probably wants to talk to, because he seems to have the best idea of how to set those things up at this point. So yes. Oh, she was tired after all that marching. That's why they were having such a hard time there. All right. But we're sending in the big boys now to go assist with everything here. As soon as the reinforcements arrive, they should be able to break down Witchy over here. Thank you for finally getting a turn. Okay, so they're done. They can't actually win the DPS race anymore because the Berserker hits as hard as both those guys combined. The Fairy seems to dodge everything. They've already got extra damage from the soldiers, so they're solid. The Witch can't technically do damage, she can only delay. So, that's always nice. But yeah, I will stop by and see if I can assist that guy as time permits, basically. Because let's see, doing this, then going back and finishing writing a couple articles, then going back, well, I mean, in between feeding the kids and making sure they're having fun and all that, and also I just captured this town with the wrong person. Oh well, don't even care right now, as long as we got the town back. Okay, so shop, anything we want to get here. We're probably going to want to buy more heal packs. Go ahead and leave that as is. Lucy needs to take a quick rest over there, and then once everybody's all nice and recovered, we'll be able to move on. Alright. But yeah, so Mr. Cow, just so you know, if you're... Like, I know you don't look at a whole lot of new things, but if you do end up looking at new things and happen to be looking for a strategy game, like as far as that whole war group thing, dude, they have a dog general. It's literally just like a friggin' Doge as a general with like his little battle armor and everything. Like, he's one of the leader units. Oh, we got a promotion. Nice. It's adorable. It's freaking adorable and crap. Though yeah. Man, there's too much good stuff coming out lately. Like, you've got that, you got a Mecha Story finally getting to a more polished state, you got, what was the other one? There's another one I saw recently that's, that kind of looked like a... what the hell was it? What the hell was that thing's name? I don't know, I'll mention it whenever I actually remember about it. And, yeah, I guess everyone's just singled out this witch for elimination here. After everything that's happened, they just completely set her aside specifically for this purpose. Alright, fighter doesn't get a second turn. That's fine. Actually, you should redo their formation so that the fighter's in the front row. Metal Wolf Chaos, hell yeah, that's true. True. What was it? Yeah, Metal Wolf Chaos, that was a little bit ago now, wasn't it? Like, wasn't that a few months ago? Either way. It's friggin' awesome that got remade. What was the other one? Oh well. Again, I'll just mention it if I remember it. Alignment down. I don't know why they got alignment down for beating down a witch, but whatever works, I guess. Yeah, Commander Woofins. Is that actually his name? I don't actually know if that's his name. Alright. So now we have everybody stacking in a stronghold over here. So Lucy, you need to break camp and actually just walk into the city. Alright. Sphinx can hold the bridge. Everyone else just needs to sit in town and recover for the time being. So that's how we're going to handle that one. But yeah, so I really hope it becomes a trend where, you know, games that are, say, not exactly owned by their copyright owners get, quote-unquote, you know, loving adaptations made. Yeah, it looks like they're trying to take the other side now. Fantastic. Fan-friggin-tastic! Thankfully, we've got Shield Zombie. Actually, Shield Zombies are kind of going to be the big deal probably throughout this entire run now. Thank you, Shield Zombie. Your sacrifice is very appreciated. By sacrifice, I mean sacrifices, by which I mean they seem to die on a pretty much minutely basis, but it's perfectly fine because they just come back to life. It's handy. It's handy. But yeah, if somebody wanted to make a spiritual sequel to this game, I've seen a few attempts that I've heard about. Again, like the Disgaea folks tried to kind of make an Ogre battle like a few years ago, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same feel. It wasn't the same format. It was just kind of like we mixed some real-time strategy in there, pay us money kind of situation. So I don't know. I'm not actually sure it was even meant to be a reference, but it was there. I forget what it's called right now, but it's not that difficult to look up anything NIS has made because they advertise them like crazy. And, I mean, unless it's a roguelike or other niche genre, in which case they just kind of expect people to find it and never bother advertising it whatsoever, but pretend that they advertised it. Yeah, that makes sense. We're just gonna leave it at that. Wait, Metal Wolf Chaos got delayed to mid-2019? It did? I thought it was already out. Huh. See, wasn't one mana game like Ogre Battle? I haven't tried... No, I haven't heard of West Knot. I haven't tried that one. One of the mana games, I think, did a real-time strategy thing, but I don't think it's wound up being the same thing. Like, generally speaking, anytime that I've looked up one of those, it more or less has been the same thing of, like, we did a real-time thing, or we tried a squads in turn-based thing, but it wasn't exactly like the same idea, you know, like they usually were going off and trying to do their own mechanic of some description. Like the NIS one in particular, honestly, all of their games boil down to, hey, you know, we have some cool mechanics now, let's go ahead and make it so you just stack grind for ages. And then you just do exactly that. You stack grind for ages, you become pretty much freaking invincible, and then, yeah. You just keep trying to get higher and higher numbers to the point that it becomes absurd. Honestly, that's kind of the reason that I've... Like, as much as I like things, like, for example, what the hell was it called? NSP? Was it NSP? No. ZHP, there we go. The Hero Project there. Like, it's basically this roguelike with, you know, no caps or whatever else. And it's, you know, it's fun at first. It's one of those ones that you go back to and it's like, oh man, I can't remember why I didn't, you know, keep on playing this. Why did I stop halfway through? And then you just have fun moments where it's like, oh, you know, you're traveling along, the only weapon you have is your fist. And then suddenly you find an anti-aircraft cannon that you can just stick to your back and run around and blast stuff with. Like, it's, you know, it's absurd, it's amusing, and everything else, and then suddenly you start realizing that, yeah, every single run is just, did I get a good item, and did I grind my stats up high enough? And then you die, and then you get to keep, like, 1 or 2 points in your stats, and then you start over again, and start over again, start over again, keep getting slightly more stats every single time. You know, get little augments that let you keep 1 extra item or whatever else, and then those items break, so it doesn't really provide that much benefit. And then you keep doing so, and doing so, and doing so, and doing so, and just grinding ad nauseum. And that's just always what it breaks down to. By the way, if it actually, since it got delayed then, Mr. Cow, if by some chance you end up getting Metal Wolf Chaos, I expect to see a starter AC run that. Or actually, no, I think it's like pistol only. But I know that thing does start with... I think it's an unlimited pistol that's its most basic thing. Not sure. I think something like that. Like, I know it's got a pistol, like, let's see, pistols, miniguns, snipers, rocket launchers, all of that sort of, like, it's basic stuff. Thing is redonkulous. Mr. Sphinx, you go here, you go defend this town. Dio and Anderson, you're gonna go charge forward. And hopefully they can overwhelm all of this before they get a chance to recover. There we go. Actually, no, let's get Sphinx in this as well, because his team's just really good. There we go. They're probably gonna get tired as hell by the time they get there, but it's fine. Perfectly fine. And there's the Dark Knight squad. Seems like they've completely recovered. Ah, that's a downer. How do you guys keep recovering, huh? I gotta keep doing that. Probably tell him to attack weakest. Yeah, there we go. Then they can go take out his health before they actually take out the leader, because unfortunately said leader guy is, well, he's a little bit tanky. Actually, you know what I forgot to add to the list? Actually, haven't done anything with Sots the Pit in a very long time. God dang, there's so much stuff that I want to do on there, and then there's never, ever, ever going to be enough time or anything to really, to make it all happen. Ah. One can hope, you know? One can hope. Cause yeah, like, I freaking love Sots the Pit. It's just that, yeah, it's a really, really long run. And then you start one run, and then just, like, they always end tragically, which is kind of part of what makes it really amusing, but, you know, at the same time, like, you start trying to do a whole streamy type thing of it, and then you better be, you know, in it for, like, a week, because it's gonna take a while. But then at the same time, still want to go and do Dwarf Fortress at some point, which is... God dang it. There's too much good stuff. See, I think the raid last time failed because you didn't capitalize the right letters. Also, I apparently put it in the... well, I put it in while he wasn't actually available for one thing, and then for another thing, what was it? I actually popped in the command, and I thought that it would just wait. Like, I thought the command would wait until it was all ready to go, since I only had about a minute left, but then apparently it timed out, which caused it to automatically just go jump into that whole raid moding thing, but then he wasn't there, and then the original one was still running, so it wound up being a little bit of a clusterfuck, so... yeah. There was that. Alright. Interestingly, I did actually use the Pendra Interrupt, but I don't think they even have it available. Okay. Perfect. Please tell me they attacked one more time, because that team can definitely take them. Let's see, Shepard was on, though. When I went to his thing, it said that he was offline. I'm not sure why that would be. Okay, here's hoping. Here's hoping that they can actually stand. Because this first team, alright, fine. They've got a wall of grunts, they've got a zombie. They can, you know, they can survive it. I don't know if they can win the DPS race here. Just because, you know, grunts and all that. But still. At least they can do something. The other team, with Asmodel in it, they're probably pretty well safe there. Should be alright. And Sophia, the ever-regenerating zombie shield. That's probably why this game never had MP switch. You just basically have zombie switch. Also, it came out on the N64, so you don't even need a switch. Har console jokes. And, okay, we got a smart guy. We got a real smart guy over here. Quick, let me, I'm barely breathing. Let me go ahead and just charge at them. And hit their one unit that doesn't take any permanent damage. Wait, I think you were looking at a different Shepherd? I put the one that you told me. Alright, so they're retreating. They're not quite broken. I mean, they've got a leader here. That this squad is damaged, but I won't be able to get to them in time to actually cause anything meaningful. Let's see. She is mostly recovered, I think. Yeah, looks like they're completely recovered. So I might as well have them join in. I mean, they basically have to cross those bridges in order to be able to get to my HQ. So, what we're going to do, we're going to try to push the two strongest teams through. If they do manage to do it, or the three strongest teams, if they do manage to do it, then okay, good. But I'm still going to leave somebody defending the town just in case. So, first of all, Earthsunder, how's your team looking? Okay, you're injured. One other one's injured. Just get some heal waves going. Just need a third hand? Exactly. Wait, I did. The capitals actually matter? Well, the more you know, I suppose. So wait, how do you use a heat leaf on a zombie? That's... Apparently those work on a zombie, okay. Sure. So, alright. I guess once we're at the end of this one, then we will go ahead and make sure to use the right command, I suppose, won't we? There we go. So I got it all typed out, so I just gotta hit a button as soon as we get to that point. I can have them continue doing their whole attack weakest thing. It seems to work out pretty well. Slash, slash, slash. That's gonna do nothing. It's gonna do something. One way or another, these guys are getting pushed back. I don't know why I suddenly started slurring my words there. Promise you, I am not drunk. Words often very likely said by folks that are actually quite drunk. Right, what is going on with this now? Sorry, I was just replying to an email real quick. There we go, and I'm back. Alright, come on, Dargan. Be a good Dargan. Stupid healing paladins. Why are they so good? They still technically won because the paladin wasn't in the front row, and therefore wasn't a massive issue. So send me a screenshot on Discord. Okay, I will check that in a bit. I will check in a moment, and it's another one of these squads. Crap. Well, attack weakest, I guess. I mean, we're going to be forced to retreat one way or another because, yeah, everyone's going to start attacking. Nope, it's time to run. Please let me run. Please don't kill her. God dang it, I just got that archer! Man, getting a Diana is going to be a problem. I can tell you that right now. Because I swear, these things are not lasting a single fight. Ugh. That is ridiculous. Okay. Screenshot, yeah. Oh, I have it spelled completely wrong. Okay, hang on. Shepherd. Not shepherd. Though, interestingly enough, they're usually pronounced the same. Man, it's so nice to see. Like, looking outside and actually seeing snow melting. It's nice to be, hopefully, getting out of the cold here. Though, we'll say the increased toastiness seems to have made the kids sleep for downright ages, because, yeah, they're still sleeping. Just sleeping on away. And yeah, even Paladin guy won't be able to save this town of theirs. We got it. Come on, get your crits out of here. So we're just about even on damage right now. We're gonna get a little bit behind though, because we don't have a second round for the most part. That's gonna get rid of one of their second rounds. We get a little bit of recovery, but I think that crit might have just thrown it in their favor. Yeah, I should leave them on autonomous. That way they're not targeting the same thing, especially with the distraction unit. Oh, alright, so they just barely won. Perfect. go ahead and move out of the way. Give us control of that town. And then, yeah, we've successfully moved on to there. Secondary push is hopefully doing alright. They're going to come in for a counterattack, but probably going to fail because they both got pushed back before. Katarina can probably go assist in the northern push here. There's a small chance that they're going to be able to cut through and make it towards that line there, but I can't really say for sure. Either way, we're safe for completely swapping everything up to the second row now. Liking the maps in this. Definitely liking the maps in this. Just because you get situations like this where you know that you're safe to advance on a certain area, you know? Right. Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking here, because they're not going to win it. They have no chance to win it anymore. Slash... I should put that fighter up in the front row. It's one paralyzed. Interestingly, very short-term paralysis. Actually, then again, speaking of short-term paralysis, so... Not sure how many folks here have gone through Bloodborne before, but man... It's funny, I was showing my wife that game the other day. And so I was specifically showing off the whole Bergenworth area. And it's funny because like I was going and beating all these bosses, was going and like doing all the Chalice dungeons and everything else, was feeling pretty good. And we got a glitch zombie, interestingly enough. And so I was going back and I was just showing it off because, you know, I think it's got a pretty cool view. So I'm walking through, you know, beating all the bug guys and everything, no problem. And then there's the one guy, just like the one random scholar guy with the weird tube head and everything. Like the one that steals your insanity, however that works. So he's just like sitting there in the back, just like just throws out paralysis and stuff like that, and just get completely ruined. Like just not even remotely a question. Just it wasn't even a fight. He's like repeatedly go and try to get that guy. He keeps getting the paralysis off over and over and over. I'm like, how am I not able to dodge this? This is just absurd right now. Alright, looks like Paladin guy is actually trying to go take our base. Wonderful. Mr. Sphinx, how would you like to go ahead and also block the bridge, please? We have Dio hopefully go and attack him. Everybody else should be able to hold the town against that squad of 3. See that? Wait, that spear thing sounds like Suikoden? Wait, which spear thing? Oh, the spinning spear thing? Yeah, the Valkyrie spear thing. I think they actually use the same sound effect. Because it really does sound exactly like when he does his little taunt twirls. Man, Suiko's such a good game. Especially Suiko 2. Suiko 2 is just friggin' amazing. It's not exactly the most difficult thing ever, but it's definitely one of the strongest starts to a game I've ever seen. Just because they really, really, really nail home the fact that you're not meant to be winning early on. They're like, oh, here's all these fights, you're gonna lose every single one, just don't even try. More games need to do that properly. Like, honestly, what was it? Trying to play an XCOM like on the hardest difficulty, that's usually where you get that feeling in any other circumstance. Like where you're going through and it's like, you know for a fact you're not meant to be winning. It's like if you slip up once, you're completely screwed, kind of thing. Like Enemy Unknown, if you're ever going through on Impossible, which by the way, I should probably add that to the list too, because Ironman Impossible is something that I wanted to try for that one too. Because I've actually succeeded twice in that one. So a little bit more confident in it. But still, you know, it's one of those things that people will still occasionally want to see, so it might be interesting to stream sometime. All the same, I'm obviously going to be finishing off current ones first. But that list is going to get pretty darn hefty, I'm going to tell you that much. What was I getting at here? Oh yeah, so yeah, they did a very effective job of just kind of making you feel like you're getting pushed back the entire time, without necessarily actually making the game even remotely difficult. Because honestly, even with some mild competence, you can kind of just break it in half. But interestingly, not enough as you can with, like, Tactics Over Luck or something like that, where the archers were so broken that pretty much any of them could, you know, ruin anything at any time. In that one, they found that perfect little handy balance, you know. They, by the way, I'm going to have Dio block the road up here so he doesn't think about going that way. But they found that nice little balance where they made the story seem properly intimidating, as in you were just kind of obligated to lose those, but, you know, it didn't feel condescending when it happened. They usually had a pretty solid reason for all of it. On top of that, they repeatedly kept showing the devastation. They kept following in the wake of that every single time, so that was really effective for it. But then the fights themselves, yeah, were pretty well doable. Alright, we got for commands here, we got a witch then. We can't use those. Witness is too close to Lotus. They'll notice you. You're no match for them. Yeah, nobody is. Except at the end of all these games, I'm pretty sure everybody's a match for them because they are in complete shambles. And, like, I know I mentioned this a lot, but I'm pretty sure there was no hope for an Episode 8 because Lotus would just not be a threat anymore by Episode 8. Like, if I were to think of how exactly Episode 8 could even work, it probably would be something along the lines of, like, they tried. Like, they tried all these invasions, they come back home, and it's just like all these, presumably they would start off with all the Lotus characters coming home. Like, they come back and it's like, okay, everything failed, every one of those invasions went completely wrong, everything that could go wrong did go wrong. They had all these artifacts and other crap going in, they've lost all of that. Everybody that's in their army has been either, you know, killed or captured or whatever else. And so, you know, they're just going home in shame and looking around and it's like, okay, everything's completely falling apart. They don't know what to do, and then, like, I think it would have been a really interesting thing to just kind of turn the story around on its head this whole time. So you're actually playing as, like, let's say you're playing as Lotus, right? And then you're looking at everybody else, and, you know, the people that were there before were a threat to these guys. You know for a fact that, you know, okay, how do I put this? The way that it should go, or how it should have gone, is that you're playing on the Lotus side, but you're essentially trying to, like, reform their whole government thing and/or, you know, continue on as they were. That would be your lawful and your chaotic routes for that one. That if you go lawful and everything else, you just kind of keep going with what they've been doing. If you go for chaotic, you're trying to, you know, overthrow, you know, all that sort of thing. But during that whole time, all, like, the Zenobians and Valerians and Palatinians and everybody, they all come in like one massive wave, and they're all coming in to just wipe you off the map. So essentially, those guys are now your bad guys. So you're basically trying to get your country to, like, turn around in the midst of all this nonsense. Like, maybe your main character could be Osmos or something. Like, honestly, I'd be completely on board with that, because Osmo would make a really good main character, I think. Anyway, so you don't know, we only ever see Lotus, there's small Lotus Force, there's 12 houses, the only one that ever does anything, their army would be huge. Sam Lancelot and the Pope, I think Magnus and Destiny are going to save the day, no way. See, that's what I would like, though. Like, you have your two main characters, and then you do, like, a sort of Resident Evil 2 kind of thing, where you have two routes through the game, where one of them you're playing as Lance, the other one you're playing as Ozma. And then you're trying to, like, fix all of the super corrupt stuff. But then you can like, either join them or go against them, and then just, like, depending on who does what, like, the other route would be different in that same respect. Like, how awesome would that be, you know? And then yeah, just like all the other armies are just terrified that you're going to invade them, so they invade first. They just launch a preemptive, like, giant, you know, counterforce or whatever else. And I should point out, the reason why they would still be a threat is because of the fact that when Lotus goes and, like, they attack any of these places, right? Every time they show up, they have a crapload of artifacts and armies and whatever else. Their armies, all things considered, every time they come in any of the games, other than their numbers, they're not super threatening. They're usually just, you know, basic knights. But all of those artifacts and everything else changed hands. Now they're in the hands of basically all the good guys throughout the series. Like, by the end of Lux, how friggin' overpowered is Denim? Like, he has the ability to frickin' time travel. He's got basically portals to go wherever, can teleport people around with no problems. Basically has, like, equipment that would be able to make somebody into a dang near god. Can become near invincible with basically every one of them has a fire crest at that point, whether or not you want to consider them canon or not. So, anyway. So just point being, you know, maybe it starts going to their head. They start going around trying to do this whole New World Order kind of situation. And so yeah, so they all just come in as this massive coalition of crazy overpowered protagonists. And I would absolutely love it if every one of them actually kept their respective mechanics. Like if at any point, like say one of your characters gets a turn and then just like Denim is there, it's like nope, freaking time travel, and then he just goes back to the start of his turn and then like just does a different move. Man, that'd be awesome. And then like you have Destin coming in, he can use chariot cards, or you got Pendras from Magnus. How awesome would they be as bosses? You know? Let's see, Destin, Magnus, and Denim arrive by ship, but Lancelot uses a Great Cutler to open the Chaos Gate portal and an army of mermaids. Oh man, that'd be pretty sweet. Though to be fair, anytime they get on land, they've been pretty worthless. It's like as soon as everybody has to go across the ocean, they're terrifying. As soon as they get on land, they do nothing. Alright, I'm gonna need these two squads to go pile in on this guy. I've been completely not paying attention to this fight whatsoever, by the way. I don't know if we've actually taken any casualties. Hopefully everyone's still alive. We'll see. To my knowledge, we've gotten 2 promotions and 1 casualty out of this one. But yeah, so I'm telling you right now, as soon as one of the reasons I was so excited about Macro's story there, if it comes to a point where they basically say, okay, there's not going to be any more Ogre Battle games or whatever else, I'm telling you, I will, like, that game has mod tools. I will make that thing. I will find a way, and I will make that freaking thing happen. Okay? That's what I want to do. So, it might take ages. Hell, we might even do, like, just a live modding thing if that ends up happening. Because I like, that's what I want to friggin' do, you know? It's like, have those 2 as the main characters, and then just go through this entire story where, like, they mentioned several times, like, Lotus, despite having a bunch of dudes, is basically falling apart. So yeah. See, Lancelot and his mermaid army face the armies of Zenobia. Destin smiles, then the rains start and leveled against the flood. There were no survivors. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. No, see, that's the point at which they start pulling out all those lightning and no, they get all of their Hermit and Justice cards. He's just like standing there with a deck of Justice cards and Hermits. He's like electrocuting the water and freezing the air over and over. He's just looking like Gambit at that point. He's just like throwing out cards, freaking causing lightning storms and crap. How awesome would that be? I mean, you know you want that. Don't even lie, you know you want to see that happen. And just, yeah, no. We have, you see, like, Magnus off in the background. He's just, like, he's got a friggin', like, phoenix perched on his shoulder riding an ice wolf. Oh, man. Oh, that'd be so good. He's just, like, has, like, an army of, friggin' thunderbirds flying around him. Man, what else? He's got, you got those, like, giant, like... Oh, no, you know, like, those orbs that you get in Dark Souls? He just has, like, a bunch of those darkness eyeballs just, like, floating above him, just, like, looking like little turrets everywhere. Dude. Oh, I want this to happen. Man, I need to just, like, go ambush one of the people at friggin' Square or whatever, and, like, just give them an elevator pitch on this. It's like, here you go. Here's the best game you will ever see. Make it happen, please. See the armies of planets descend on Lotus, but they're killed by a single Sphinx. Yeah, that's a problem, isn't it? Or maybe it's the other way around. We never see Sphinxes anywhere else. Like, we know that with Lancelot, he probably went and brought some of those giants with him, because the only ones that have giants are going to be Lands, and you're going to have Destin, because they're the only ones that naturally have giants with them. Then you've got but yeah, with the Sphinxes, like, generally speaking, the Platinus army is kind of suckier. They've got less people. But yeah, they're the only place that actually has Sphinxes, so then they come in with those, and then presumably... I think all the best Griffins seem to be in Let Us Cling Together, so... Like, he's just... Oh, man. Yeah, definitely all of like, Destin and, yeah, Destin's whole army is definitely flying in on Griffins. There's no question on that. That just has to happen. The fact that they don't have Destin flying on a Griffin anywhere in this game is just a travesty. But yeah, no. They should totally just fly in on Griffins the entire time. I mean, Miss Powell's there in going class wearing hats and holding paper-mache spears. You know what? You have a fair point there. You have a fair point. I mean, if they form into legions enough, they can do some stuff. Alright. But yeah, definitely time travel powers for Destin. Or not Destin, but for Denim. Like, I would seriously just love the hell out of them being bosses. They would make such cool bosses. Actually, wait a minute. Who was it? I think... I want to say there was a Demon Souls boss that actually used a kind of time reversal mechanic. Where, like, every time you would get enough damage on them, they would just basically reverse time and... What was it? Was that Demon Souls? No, I don't remember. There was one ridiculously annoying boss. I think it was from that one. Could be thinking of something else, though. But yeah, so that's probably why Platinus's armies would basically be the worst. By a pretty large margin, actually. Yeah, strongest military of the three, though. I mean, I would think probably Denim, because he's getting 3 separate countries together by the end of that one. Because I would assume, like, Destin's got the most beast units, just because, I mean, they've got the most just randomly wandering around. But yeah. Definitely going to be the biggest number advantage. Well, numerically speaking... Hang on, I'm just going to go ahead and use an item real quick. Numerically speaking... Wait, why not? Why can't I use it? Explain? For some reason I can't use a heal pack. Odd. Oh, it's Lucy's team that I'm thinking of, that's why. Let's heal that dragon. That archer's unfortunately dead. Okay. Let's heal you. And I'm assuming they're probably... Actually, no, they're not that tired, are they? Not really. Okay. They will just keep on going eventually. St. March of the Black Queen, Zenobians and Eugenia fight a war over years. They killed almost everyone. Valeria, a tiny island. Platinus, unknown. But see, that's the thing. Valeria's a tiny island, but they actually give you hard numbers for that one. And technically speaking, I think it's... Hang on, how did this go? So, we get... Okay, here's the thing. We get exact population numbers in some cases. However, they're really inconsistent with it. So, for example, where they're showing the population numbers for OB64 and for March of the Black Queen, they're surprisingly tiny. Like, we're talking like little tiny hamlets for most of the towns. And even in the capitals, they've only got like 2,000 or something. It's really, really tiny. Meanwhile, if you go over and look at Valeria, I mean, they mention entire fights where they're like, yeah, each side has like 10 to 20,000 people going into this thing. Like, I think when they show the whole Rhyme invasion, I think they say like 6,000 invade Rhyme or something like that, and that's just like a forward group. So either way, they've got a pretty, I don't know, if the numbers are to be believed, they've got a pretty massive number advantage. But who knows? And they're still going at it here. They're still going at it. This same Paladin squad has caused problems both times. What can you do? See, NPCs in Luck are always saying the Lotus could crush them without breaking a sweat too. This is true, but again, bear in mind that Lotus, again, they are basically ruined after all those invasions. Like, they end up losing... okay, if the class descriptions are to be believed, when they send in the Dark Knights there, they have 100,000 for every one of the commanders there has 100,000. So I think there's like 9 commanders or something, so it's like 900,000 that they're sending in, and most of them either surrender or lose. Like, as far as the leaders go, I think the only ones that actually make it out are Balzafon and Lancelot, and you only see them making it out just kind of by themselves. They don't bring anyone else with them. So unless they're having hundreds of thousands of units, just like, you know, crossing over the ocean in freaking canoes or some crap, you know, they're not exactly coming back with that much. They've lost a crap load, like especially in ye old times, like especially if you consider how big some of the islands are in these games. I mean, that is an unreasonable amount of units to lose. If we look at this one, what's their population? 293. This is a larger town. Losing 1 million in an invasion? Yeah, that's... yeah, population 4. This town is this fort is populated by 4 people. There's nobody at any of these. I mean, definitely the lowest population is Platinus. I don't know if it's meant to be that way or not, but still. See, imagine Platinus has a huge army in the Eastern Church who, despite you being your ally, will totally watch your back. I'm sure you'll understand. Well, wait, so there's no way to actually get them properly on your side? Surely there has to be some way to do that. And yes, I know, don't call you Shirley. Oh, look, they can actually do a damage! Oh my goodness! Who knew? Yeah, Dio's team might actually be able to break through them. Finally. Because this is kind of their introduction to the fact that paladins are ridiculous. Like, hey, look, they can be a healer that won't die, and they can attack 3 times, and they're just good at everything. And look at our class, it's so amazing. And also, we're massive fans of the Hussars. Can you tell? We put little wings on them, just so you absolutely know for sure. Alright, Vanessa and Anderson, I'm gonna need you running this way. They're going to go that way, because they're trying to attack that town, and I want to kind of pinch them into the mountains there. So I'm going to do it that way. We're going to leave Lucy here to defend the town, because inevitably that guy's going to try to go for it. See, the best you can do is to get Europia to join you. The Church's armies will always stay to guard the Chaos Gate, and try to mop up the demons. Okay. Also known as they're just going to sit there and grind XP to try and take over the outro, aren't they? They're trying to get over-leveled. Though that being said, as far as the whole sitting around and grinding XP thing, it seems laughable in terms of realism and stuff like that. But then you start reading through history and whatever else, and God, there's so many times when people did exactly that. Like, there was one of the stories out of the Great Northern War, where, like, early on into the thing, before he was really doing very much, he's like, oh wait, I need a bunch of veteran soldiers, so he just sends them around to, like, little skirmishes all over Europe, like, over and over and over, just trying to make them all stronger and just train them through fights and everything, and sure enough, they become ridiculously strong. And then ultimately die because of bad leadership, but still, they were just running around grinding XP for all intents and purposes. So that's always fun. Can't afford these guards, because that entire fight just got completely undone by one heal. So, well, I hope you get the good ending this time. I still wait the day you get the secret level ending. I don't know what the way is to do that, but what I will say is that, yeah, we're probably not getting the good ending this time. Because, yeah, I'm gonna try to go no Zenobians right off the bat, just so you know. We're gonna be trying to, let's just say, follow in Raid's footsteps in this one, just for the hell of it. Yes, he's a massive douchebag, but you know what? At the same time, considering the fact that we know for a fact that there is a Zenobia invades ending, then we can safely assume that, hey, maybe he was right the whole time to be paranoid, you know? They were all coming for him, man! They were all coming for him. So no Zenobians offered to join you. You stay silent at the execution, agree to fight Diomedes, and then you have low chaos frame on the last level. I basically have all check marks on that except for fighting Dio. I didn't want to fight Dio because he was alright last time, you know? He didn't do anything wrong. However, I will say the Zenobians never really bothered to show up and help out at that last ending, or put in a good word in that bad ending, or, you know, do anything other than transform in and out of being fairies in Ceridan's case. So, yeah, you know. Oh yeah, and then Aisha allowed that one town to get captured several times, so that's basically unforgivable. So I think that's kind of just the way we're going to roll with that one. That's how we're going to go ahead and justify it. See, not 100% sure on Dio? Well, we'll see what happens. I'm going to try to get a good Chaos frame, but no Zenobians. That's kind of the main goal here, more or less. And I'm also going to go ahead and retreat before he has a chance to throw his second heal out there. But they're going to heal a little bit over time, I think. Either way, I think fighting Dio at the Execution just makes no Zenobians even offer to join. Gotcha. Alright, Sphinx, please go ahead and finish this guy off. Dio, I'm gonna need you to get your tired butt back to town. And then, yeah, Lucy, let's get you marching up here. Gonna have to go check on my kiddos in just a moment ago. As per usual, hopefully this witch will be able to shut down the paladin. If that's the case, then we are in business. Please go ahead and shut him down. Excellent. Okay, good. So he won't be able to heal himself any farther. I think the frontliners... well, they're just going to be able to do some pretty solid damage overall. And he's paralyzed too, so they're only going to get one attack off, or can be able to recover. Excellent. Excellent. They're going to be able to finish off the squad next round. Good, 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 good. That's what I want to see. But yeah, if there was a company that were to suddenly try to make a copy of Ogre Battle or whatever else, any thoughts? Like, who do you think should do it? I mean, obviously, Square is in a weird place right now where, I don't know, it's hard to tell what they're even about right now, because they've been putting out some good stuff, but they've also been monetizing the hell out of it, so it's kind of like they're trying to do both extremes of both good and bad. So who knows? That company would get sued into oblivion? I mean, like, if they could. Like, right now, we know for a fact that Nintendo loves to go after companies that, you know, infringe on them in any way. So, for example, with Wargroove coming out, they basically made a thing that is not exactly the same, but for all intents and purposes, like, they basically just changed the colors. So instead of orange, they're red. Instead of blue, they're green, stuff like that. So they changed the, you know, the overall colors of what teams are what a little bit, and then they switched over from a modern day to a medieval setting, but then otherwise mechanically kept most things almost the same to Advance Wars. And so that suddenly exists, and so I was saying earlier, like, I want those guys to just collectively borrow Ogre Battle and make a new game, because clearly they know what they're doing. But let's see. So if you make an OB game and then they don't sue you, their valuation drops anyway, way down when the stockholders throw a fit. Yeah. Well, at the very least, I can go make a fan mod. And then, yeah, it's like one of those cases where it gets taken down, but then you just re-upload it under a different name. It's like, what? It's a totally different thing. I don't know what you're talking about. Totally different. It wasn't episode 8, it was episode 9. You never even intended to make an episode 9, so argue with that logic. See, problem solved. Alright. Alright. But no, it's one of those series where, honestly, just like Advance Wars, like, AW was known a lot more. Like, a lot more people played it, like, especially folks that just got a GBA, I'm sure, played it. And yeah, in that case, they haven't done anything. They haven't threatened to do anything, and, like, even though folks that know the genre are looking at it, it's like, this is Advance Wars, in any other respect, you know, I'm pretty sure the stockholders wouldn't even know or, you know, think to run into that sort of issue. It's like, we don't have competition because, you know what, they didn't exactly make a competing thing. They just made the same thing, more or less, with a different name, and just enough changes to be legally okay. Seem dubious about how copyrighted the battle system is, though. I wonder if they'd care if somebody retreated it, or recreated it under a new name. I mean, I hope that's not the reason we haven't got a spiritual sequel yet. Because I actually haven't gone and checked to see how copyrighted the system is. Because I know there have been several that were claimed to have been similar, but then every single one of them did feel very different. There's never been one that even kind of felt the same. Like the closest really so far has been Mecha's Story there, which is just because again it does approach it from a completely different angle. It does change a lot of things and doesn't use the same mechanics, but you get a similar feel of you're building teams and building those team compositions to be good under specific circumstances, and you're limited in terms of how many things one team can do. So in that respect, I'd say it's similar, but not exactly the same. So I don't think they're going to get into any issues. I really hope not. I mean, they're trying real hard on that one. Mitsuno hates to repeat himself, so I wonder if he's the one saying he doesn't want to recreate Martial Black Queen. I think that's why he dislikes Sobi 64. It doesn't innovate enough. Maybe. I mean, it did expand on the mechanics at least. I mean, I have to say, some of the other stuff that he's worked on, I still get the feeling that he just really wants to make a board game. Oh, nice. We got another promotion. Except for that archer we lost earlier. But, like, for example, have you seen Crimson Shroud? I mean, it's just straight up D&D with pre-baked characters. So, I mean, make of that what you will. I mean, even down to the fact that you're using, like, the DS touchscreen to go and roll dice and things like that. So, I don't know, I've looked at it, it's a fun thing. It doesn't even have animations, like, you're just moving tiles around and everything else. But it's pretty cheap, so that's probably why. Still look pretty fun. Alright, Mr. Terranite, would you like to go ahead and die, please? It'd be greatly appreciated. It's not like you really have a chance here. You can keep pretending. I mean, you need a crit to make any progress. Alright, heading back to editing. Have fun sieging all 4 people in the castle. I will go ahead and do that. And yeah, it looks like the kiddos are waking up, so as soon as this fight's done, we're going to be going off there anyway. So, can go get the kiddos breakfast. Can go, well, hell. Hopefully, I might have to do that before then. Actually, no, it looks like they're going back to sleep. So, we'll see. It depends on how they do. Yeah, these guys should win the damage race. Just barely, though. I mean, they're going to be able to push through. I don't know if they're going to have enough steam to go take on that second one. Hopefully. Yes. Okay, good. He's gone. So yeah, Mr. Bale, you have a fantastic day. Hope everything's all good over there. Hope you're feeling all right. All that kind of thing. Okay, good. Everyone got chucked over the mountain. They're just basically picking them up and chucking them straight over the mountain. That's how retreating works. Oh, you know what? That could work, actually. In terms of, using similar mechanics, but definitely not making it the same thing. If you're forcing them to retreat, you just do an almost the Sky-looking situation. Where, like, instead of retreating, you just have them, like, they fight each other, they pummel each other up a bit, and then one of them, just like you see whatever the squad leader logo is, they pick them up and they just, like, throw them behind them. You just, like, throw them over a mountain. Oh, that'd be really good. You know what? I might have to write an email to those people that made, that made Wargroove. See if they actually would consider doing that. Oh man, how good would that be? I love it. I absolutely love it. I know the odds are low. I know, but still. One of these days, maybe somebody... Actually, no, a better idea might not even be to email them. Maybe the better place to start would actually just be kind of an article, maybe get that article going on Reddit. Maybe get a little bit of attention behind it, and then send that thing out as kind of like a petition-looking situation. I could write that alongside my other articles today. Might be an idea. We'll see. We will see. Okay. They haven't gotten levels yet, but that's perfectly fine. Alright, children's. How's that waking up going? And we have apparently fallen back asleep. Okay, we've got a minute. So there was a real funny moment yesterday. So I'm going in and getting my kids up from, getting them up from their lunchtime nap. And so I walk in, and my daughter's there. Like, she's basically, apparently at some point during her nap, she got up, she found a label to something and tore it up. And at first, I was really worried because I'm just looking like, you know, she's just laying back on her back, doesn't even want to use the blanket. She's just like splayed out there. You know, I walk in, and usually I expect a, you know, just like, oh, you know, good morning or whatever else as soon as I walk in. Even if it's afternoon, Joe says good morning. But I walk in, she's just there, just like rolling around, slightly looking all tired and everything. Like, okay. Not gonna lie, I'm a little bit worried here. You know, did you eat something? Should I be getting you to a hospital or whatever? Like, are you okay? You know, are you saying good morning? She's there, just like, shh, and then rolls over. Like, okay. Point taken. You just don't want to get up yet. But yeah, got shushed by my toddler. Those dad experiences for you. Alright, good job, Asnabel the Phalanx. You're doing a good job. Doing a real good job. And he's going to be doing a bit of a worse job in a moment, though. Because after he levels up next, which should be any time now, so probably going to be by the end of this fight, in fact. As soon as that happens, I'm going to turn him probably into a knight or something, but then let him keep that helmet. Or maybe back to a berserker, because switching between berserker and phalanx seems like it should give them a pretty good mix of stats. Alright. Meanwhile, though, everybody else is going to go here, get ready to lay siege to this crap like nobody's business. There we go. We're going to leave one on defense. Because, you know, gotta do that. Old man gets shanked. It's kind of funny, though, because he doesn't necessarily have to be an old man. It could always be a strap-on beard that they use. Because, right before this, he was a completely clean-shaven fighter guy, and then he just sort of became a wizard. Just magically grew a beard. Could always be the first ability they learn. It's never quite explained, but they always grow a beard in these games. Always, always, always. Wait, there's something here. Nifty. Right, you get yourself over here. Dio, you get yourself over here as well. We've unfortunately taken a week trying to secure this place. So let's go ahead and not waste any more time. Just go straight up into that capital. Vanessa, tell you what, you break camp. You join the attack team, and then whoever's this over here, I think that's Katarina, right? It's not Katarina. Is it... Is that Anderson, really? Alright, well, you break camp. You go ahead and try to hunt down this one while they're sleeping. You camp. You camp. And then, yeah, by the time the rest of the army arrives, they should be good to go. Get over here, people. It's taking you a really long time. Get up at 5 a.m. again? It's a good question. It's a good question, but at least my little guy decided to sleep all night, so it was fantastic. It was an actual few hours of uninterrupted sleep. Feels amazing. Alright. By the way, I will say, kind of getting tired of this half and half in my coffee. It's starting to be noticeably not amazing. slowly work their way back there. Very, very slowly. And then we'll go ahead and siege this castle with 4 people in it. So, one disappointing thing about OB64, one that I'd hoped wouldn't be much of a thing. See, not so different from Frederick. He's a coward. Your strength is valuable to be wasted, but you're nothing but a hindrance to us. Blah. Yeah, whatever. We somehow attacked them backwards. This makes sense. Or no, we didn't. No, we didn't. However, they can probably just gangplank the leader without much issue. Attack leader, please. Slash. Get wrecked. Get wrecked. Get further wrecked. Oh. Okay, Troy got beefed up. Fantastic. We should have 2 lightning casts on him. We might even get a Pendra at this rate. Yeah, he's toast. If they survive this fight, he's toast. Right, come on, don't kill Troy. There goes lightning! Even if he blocked it, he'd be dead anyway. Nothing but a hindrance, huh? You just got hindered to death. See the joy of winning battles? You think you can keep it under control? Can you stop the momentum? Alright, gotta get going. Have a good day.